want to wait.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
it's only
scared that's gonna happen when
Yeah,
I get this surgery.
yes.
Act like I work
It's
tomorrow.
7:58, so we can
I thought it
just.
was
But listen, I can't wait. I be going to the gym to take pictures,
Let me.
but the whole time I got gastric.
Should
I
I
can't
mute?
wait.
Should I mute? Let me see if I can. Can I mute my phone? No.
I'll be like working hard.
Let me wait. Hello, friends. It is 7:59.
I'll just stop.
We are here outside in the beautiful nature setting here in the wonderful city of Louisville, Kentucky.
Bill Hall.
And we're excited to be here to talk about modern dating experiences and issues we be having with people and stuff, and what you've been going through when you've been dating. As we know, I'm not talking about me. You know, I'm not dating anyone, and I'm not looking to do so. And what I'm trying to do is just trying to get everybody's perspective and just talk about, you know, relationships. The good, the bad, and the ugly, the fun, the depressing, the exciting, all these different types of aspects that relationships have. So we're here. Cheryl, your hair got into the Sprite a little bit. Just, Shirley. My mama's name's Shirley. And stuff. Just your hair is in a Sprite. Okay. But anyway, I'm waiting on one of our lovely participants who's going to chime in and join the live. Just waiting for her to jump on, and then we'll get started. But how's everyone doing today? How's your Sunday? Have you had a chance to praise the Lord on today? Have you given God glory? For the things that He has done. The things that He has done.
And deliver.
touch and make her.
Hey, my
The
God.
Holy Ghost take over broadcast.
The Holy Ghost take over
Come to
broadcast.
magnify.
Magnify His most holy name.
So, texts are going out. As we all know, the days are getting shorter, the nights are getting colder and warmer,
What the fuck are you talking about?
and there are things going on in this world that we all are witnessing and going through. But, you know, one of the things that we have to understand in these days and times that it's always good to have someone you can rely on next to you or someone that you can depend on. So a lot of us are looking for that special someone, but it doesn't always go as we want it to. Sometimes, you know, there's people who go through relationships and they get married and, you know, they have to get divorces, or sometimes things just don't work out. So for my situation, I'm just here because I'm new at all this, and I'm trying to get an understanding of how everyone else thinks. So we're trying to see some people who, if people want to jump on and just have a little conversation about your dating experiences. No, hey, Jeremy, this ain't the place to come get phone numbers. Hey, JP, it's what is good here in Louisville too. So yeah. Just waiting on my co-host here. Waiting on my co-host to get on. And then we'll get started.
Ain't no co-host.
Ain't no co-host? Cool. So, let's talk about relationships. So, for those of you who are looking for a relationship, I do have some advice to offer, even though I clearly, you know, don't know what I'm doing. I didn't do mine correctly. But I do know just from talking and to being in different situations, what I noticed is that if you know what you want in your relationship, you're more susceptible to get it. If you just go into something without any expectations or, you know, desires, then you're more likely to get disappointed. So we can't look for people to fulfill things that we want in our lives to be finished or to complete. We have to be two complete people in a relationship to work towards a common goal. So you can't really look for somebody to complete your puzzle. You can complement each other. But if you're looking for somebody to complete you, that may not be the best thing to be shooting for, because you'll always get disappointed when someone doesn't give you what you want exactly. So, when you're out looking and you're out wanting to find someone, or wanting to, not be alone, it's important to understand that just because you're alone doesn't mean that you're always in a bad place, because you can always get into something that's worse off than you being single. So tread lightly when you're looking to get into these relationships and different things like that. It's always good to know what you want and what you're wanting in your partner, because if you have these random expectations, you're always going to get disappointed. Okay. My co-host, one of my, and we got the good one. You're in the car.
I am in the car, but I'm gonna let you talk, and then when I post up and talk, and then I'm gonna talk.
Okay.
You know,
Okay, cool.
you know I don't
So
do nothing on time.
Huh?
You know I don't do nothing on time.
Okay, yeah, you too black right now. You 5 minutes late, so it's like $10. But anyway, thank you, Diddy, for joining the live here. The reason I got this Diddy on the live is because she had a lot of, my friend has shared a lot of situations with me in regards to DM diving and some stuff she has experienced. So I thought it was important to try to get, her perspective on how things have been in her dating life, being a successful single mother, knowing what you can and cannot bring into your life, and knowing that you won't be the only person who will be exposed to this person. So she's had some colorful things she's informed me about, my dear friend, and
I keep straight right.
I just wanted to hear what
I keep
she
straight right.
wanted to say. And she's still driving.
I am still driving, but we gonna multitask. We're gonna
multitask.
So,
okay.
Yeah, from my end, I mean, so what have we already talked about within 5 minutes?
We've talked about I've talked about knowing what you want in a relationship, and not having just knowing what you're wanting and not being more likely not be disappointed, various things like that, and then how sometimes it's better to be alone at times.
Yes.
To get into a different situation and want to be with someone.
Facts. Yeah.
Just because you don't want to be alone.
Yeah, well, being a single parent, like, you definitely got to know, because, like, my time is everything. So if I take the time to make any time with you, like, it's valuable. Like, we can't play no games. Like, with me being 30, sorry, I'm probably gonna say like 45 times. I'm working on that. Being 30, like, we building. We gonna build. We gonna grow. We can't do the same shit we was doing in our 20s. We can't do the same thing we was doing in high school. You're not finna lay up in my house. I'm not finna lay up in your house, and it's just not gonna go nowhere. Especially with me and the fact that I have a daughter. She's not gonna see no nigga keep running in and out our crib, because I don't want her to think that that's okay. You not gonna just have niggas just coming in and out your life. Like, you need it's now time for stability. My thought process probably would be a little bit differently if I didn't have her. Can't really say, because she's here. But now, the fact that she is here, like, that's pretty much what it is. Like, are we gonna barbecue our mildew? And when I say, as far as like the DM goes, like, it be niggas. Like, let's not get it twisted. We all know that there's two different personalities when it comes to me. There's definitely a Veron and there's definitely a Diddy. There's two different people, but I can control both, and there's a balance. Diddy's gonna always make sure you have a good time. We gonna turn up. We gonna live. But at the end of the day, my life is Veron, and that's because I got Zion. I'm a mother at the end of the day. So Veron is always going to become more important than Diddy. I think, and I guess I have to try to figure out what I want to do now that I'm saying it out loud. I think niggas, I ain't gonna say men, because again, there's a difference. I think niggas see Diddy and they get excited and they think that's what's gonna happen. Like, no, nigga, I I love twerking. I'm gonna probably always twerk. I'm gonna always dance. I'm always gonna have a good time. Facts. But I love
Fact.
taking care of my man. I like cooking and cleaning and spoiling you and being transparent and doing shit with you. So don't think because you see me jumping up and down and twerking with my friends that's forever. That you think that you about to slide and some shit's gonna happen. Because if you think that you finna pull up, like nigga, what's up? You got a 401k, you got life insurance, where you work at, what's up?
I think you brought a good topic because a lot of people don't think about the intentions of dating because we're 30 plus and it's just not out here about trying to have one night stand and just trying to just get all you can out of somebody and just move on. At this stage and age in life, it's about planning and trying to move on and accomplish something.
Jeremy, what you mean 401k? You right, crazy LaShine. Everybody, it's definitely a few months. Not to cut you off, Nate. It's definitely ain't nobody just coming over just day one. It's definitely a few months. Well, you know what? Let me take it back. I have a agreement with my child's father to where we have every other weekend on and off. So if that's my weekend off, I might have a nigga come chill at my house. Is he gonna meet my daughter? No. Like,
right.
I've dated someone. I know everybody's like, what? I've actually dated someone, and he was actually around my child, not all the time. He actually was around on accident. They met on accident. He got in a wreck, and I pulled up with my kid because it was, I'm a mother. So,
right.
Go back, Nate. Go ahead. You can go back. Tag team.
You there? It's my turn.
I got some shit.
No, because you was breaking up. So I think it's important too. I think it's important because you got to time out when you do bring your child around something else. Because it's like you said, it's not just package. So you don't know how long that person's gonna be in your life. So if they're not up to par and you don't feel like they're gonna be around too much too long, maybe it's not the best thing to be introducing your child to so many people. Or especially if you're not ready for that. Just in general, if you're a single parent and you're not ready, you don't know if you want to be with this person forever, or if you're not planning for the future with this person. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's important to have that understanding of where you are, your proximity with that person, and not really have your child getting attached to somebody because they might not be around in a month because they didn't meet.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another reason. I think the only people who really knew, the only people who really even knew about the guy that I talked to was like my friends, like my close friends. That like my mama didn't know, like she knew it was somebody, and my sister knew it was somebody, but like I didn't even go to that because even the guy that I had talked to prior to, like
I should have brought me a
thumbs up.
Should have brought a dessert.
Come back. And we're losing you.
Can you hear me?
Are you there? Yeah. Am I on your car speaker?
Yeah. Is that why you can't hear me? Hold on.
It's a lot of feedback.
Hold on.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I mean, yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So, I don't even know what I was talking about. Hey, y'all. Pause for a moment. Diddy's in the building. The motherfucking pork is fat. That's where I'm headed to.
Oh, we are talking about relationship.
But I'm going back. I just had to let y'all know the motherfucking pork is fucking fat. Like, stand still, but I'm back.
It's the Lord's day. Hallelujah.
But back on topic. I didn't want people to. I didn't want anybody to get attached until it was serious. So, so the last guy that I talked to, like, it was we talked for a few months and we was actually like real cool, and we talked about weird shit, like shit that I don't really talk to my friends about. Like, it was It was good, and I thought stuff was gonna get serious.
No, yeah.
Why are you doing this? What happened?
It's the Lord's Day.
I'll quit
Go
cussing.
ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I got Remy
Yeah.
in my system. I'm sorry. I didn't know
Hallelujah.
that. I didn't know there was any rules. I thought it was gonna be real transparent.
Well, we're transparent.
We was gonna be real transparent. You know, we gonna talk. We gonna
Let's-
say facts. It might get ugly. The language might
Okay.
get ugly too, but it is what it is. Hallelujah.
Uh,
You know, I love. You know, I
yeah,
love me some Jesus.
yeah,
You know, He died for my
yes.
sins and yours. But let's get it
Hallelujah.
twisted. I'ma tell you when a nigga ain't shit.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Okay.
we gonna say
Oh,
facts. We're not gonna clean it all
all
out. You know,
right.
black people, Black Lives Matter.
What? All right, then. Well, it was fun having you on. We're glad. Yes.
Wow.
We're glad that you were able to talk to us. You have made this beautiful. You had us some great.
Yes, LaShawn, we actually did talk. We did talk about, like, you know, doing stuff like No, you're not about to cut me off.
I'm listening.
LaShawn asked the question. What am I in timeout? You about to really kick me off?
Go ahead. I'm listening. Talk.
Anyways, yeah, we did actually talk. We talked about, you know, like doing stuff, like, you know, I got my you know, my business, Glam Factory Lashes. Shameless plug. He wanted to start a business. We talked about that. I wanted to go back to school. Like, he was thinking about going back to school. Like, we actually talked about stuff and like actually how we was gonna help each other do stuff. So like when we went down, it was actually blindsided. Like, it just like there was signs, but it wasn't like a damn, like it just was like an immediate stop.
Yeah.
Nathan, I don't like how you treat me, Deacon.
Hey, I'm trying to keep you.
I am. I calmed down.
You should have went that way.
I want D. We got Diddy today.
No, Varian came back. I was talking to LaShawn, like we talked about it. So, like I said, like when like the fact that we're done now is kind of like a shocker to everybody, like to the people that actually knew about us, because we actually like we vibed really, 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 really well.
Yeah, and it's hard because you know it's almost a casualty of every war, and that just goes. You gotta hold the punches. There's a lot of feedback.
There's a lot of feedback.
Am I still in the car?
No, you know, I'm in the car. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Go after this.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, we're good. Can you hear me? Oh, I gotta wait. All right. Well, Veron, we appreciate you for coming by. We got another special guest coming on the line. I'll text you later, Diddy, and I'll send you your Cash App. See you later, okay?
He's just trying to get rid of me, y'all.
I'll talk to you later on. Bye. I love you.
See, look, everybody's talking to me, Nate, and you trying to get rid of me because
okay.
It's fine.
No, I'm not.
You are, because they said they didn't even hear the echo.
I love you. You have the echo, not her. It's because I'm pinging out to her speakers. That's why I have the echo. I love you. I love that woman. That is my friend. Ron, you are amazing, and I appreciate you coming by and stopping by and talking with us. I see Jeremy Perkins doing a whole bunch of laughing. Let's get you on. Can we get you on? Can you send me a request? Mr. Perkins, can you send me a request, please? I'd like to get your take on relationships and the ins and outs of dating. If you could please send me a request, I would love to have you on, Mr. Perkins. Jeremy, are you going to join? Are you joining? Is Teddy Riley here? I dismiss you, spirit of Teddy Riley, if you are in the building. All right, all the way from the great state of Florida, one of our great entrepreneurs, one of our great spice makers, one of our great bodybuilding competitors,
What's
one of
good?
the
What's
most
good?
eligible bachelors
How old
in the
is he?
state of Florida,
How old is
Mr. Jeremy Perkins. We have some questions for you, sir.
All right.
Sir, we would like to know your age and
I'm
location,
37.
and where are you at right now currently?
What do you mean? Where am I at? Where am
What
I at in
what's
life?
it?
Where do I what state?
Oh, you want to do this? You want to
She
do this?
she
Oh,
brought a lot of energy, so I didn't know if I needed to ask those
okay. Let's
answer
start
with
with the
those type of
preliminaries.
questions.
Let's start with the preliminaries.
Okay.
So, where are you currently? What's your proximity?
I'm in Florida,
What city are you in Florida? We're trying to find your location.
Broward County.
Broward County, Florida, represented by Mr. Jeremy Perkins. Let me give you some background. This man is a bodybuilding competitor. He is an entrepreneur. He's got a lot of irons in the fire. Very exciting, eligible bachelor, hardworking person who is a Second Amendment fan. Has
Absolutely.
helped me in various aspects of building AR-15s. So I want to get what you think about dating. You heard my friend Diddy, my sister Veron, come on and say a whole bunch of stuff. And I saw you lighten up the comments. So I want to get your perspective. What are some of your experiences when dating? So that you can share.
I think no, you can't have no toilet paper. I coupon. That's why that's back there. I got to be stocked up for myself. Nobody here to help me, so I have to be resourceful for myself. So
You preaching?
if
Come
any
on.
if any of y'all thinking about sliding in a DM, I got unlimited text messages and minutes, so we can talk. But I do well for myself on my own, so you got to bring something that I can't do already for myself. So you're probably gonna have a hard time. But I mean, life is all
Facts.
about opportunities and chances. So I mean, you can try. But I think that so the young lady who got on before me, she was very direct in her opinions, and that didn't bother me.
That's
I
good.
mean, I've had a young lady before in the past. She wasn't my young lady, but a young lady. She hit me with some information that was similar to what that young lady said. Oh, I was trying to get at her or whatever the case may be. She was, I'm looking for a man who got 50K in savings, all of this and this as like criteria. But I'm like, you work next to me at the same place. You don't have 50K. So how you gonna ask me to have 50K
Oh,
when you
bruh.
don't
That's
have
what I'm
50K?
saying.
We work in the
That's
same.
like
We work in the same place. So
that's what I don't understand.
it
That's what
does.
I don't understand. Why do so many people have these expectations or these criteria they want people to meet that they can't even meet themselves?
See,
You
that's
know what I'm saying?
and that's what the problem is. But years later, life happened for her, life happened for me. You know what I'm saying? And we still cool peoples and whatnot. But then the table kind of changed, and it was like, you know what? You turned out a little better than I thought you would have. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Don't hit my line now. No, I need you to own the energy that you had.
Keep that same man.
Stay where you were, because I was trying to do the right thing like Spike Lee, but you didn't want to. But I think personally, it's all about balance.
Okay.
And understanding where you want to be in the long run, and being able to determine if whoever it is that you're talking about or talking with can either mate with who you are or bring you into the space of where you want to be. Okay. So I'm a product of a broken home. I, being separated in my youth, have certain value points that I understand are more important now to my social dynamic.
Right.
So my baby brother's on here, JP.
JP?
we often
JP.
have candid conversations, and I stress to him the importance of those dynamics that we missed because of being broken. He has to fix those and pay that forward to my nieces. So
Yeah.
I carry that same thing. Like, for example, I didn't grow up in a household where, you know, we ate dinner at the dinner table every night. And I think that's kind of whack, honestly. But I also understand the value in it being older now, that that's an engagement point for the family to find out things that are going on, to have a candid discussion. So though to me, it ain't really my thing, I would adapt to it with someone who that may be your lifestyle.
Right, right.
But I need to be introduced into it to allow me to get to that.
And I think that's a part of it too. I think that's a big part. You know, we look at our parents, and because that's what we have to go off of.
Yeah.
So like
initially,
you say, if you come from a broken home, you know that's something that you subconsciously or consciously you try to make sure you want to avoid. But also there are some people who are coming from homes that are still together, and that parental arrangement was and still is terrible.
That's true.
So that's what we have to learn from. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the initial foundation.
That's what we're built off of. Exactly.
In growth, you just like in everything else, you adapt from multiple places.
Right.
My viewpoints of what I believe are important to me didn't only come as a result of what I saw from my parents separately and just creating value. It's when I went to my friends' parents' houses when they were together, okay. Well, that's what that looks like, because I don't know what it looks like. But that resonates with me, regardless of if it was good all the time or good when I was only around. But the energy that I saw resonated for me to say, I want that kind of thing.
Right.
So, you know, there's a lot of things, but I think most importantly, at least for me, is just being real and upfront, like you had mentioned, and just understanding what you want. But you don't have to have a 401k to, you know, have an option or a chance. But do you have a plan, or are you willing to adopt and jump on board with a plan that will then allow you or us to mutually progress?
I want to get your thoughts on this, because this is a JP put this in the he put a part of this in the comments. It's talking about how black men have to have a certain amount of money and it has to have a certain amount of income to be ideal or dateable to a lot of people. And you know, people don't want a broke man. And then I don't know if you saw B Simone I think she's an actor on Wild 'N Out.
Yeah.
You seen that piece? She talked about she can't date somebody who's not a CEO.
Yeah.
And people who 9-to-5 dudes just can't do it for her.
Yeah.
I think she said that because she's an influencer.
So she wants somebody to be in her lifestyle because they
want to understand. She wants them to understand her life.
But just because she's an influencer,
I don't think that's an appropriate.
No, that's what I'm saying. I understand that she has a lifestyle and a different thing going on, but she can't. I don't think it's okay to automatically dismiss somebody because they're not from your lifestyle, saying that they might not be able to understand it. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So,
but that happens though. That happens. That literally does happen though.
Yeah, it does.
And it's it's more women doing it to men than men doing it to women. I hate to call it spade a spade, but I will. I'm gonna call it the way that it is.
Where are you proving your statistics?
It's his life, it's his opinion. I like it.
It's
spicy, spicy. Come on.
That's just what it is. But I say I can't ask you for something that I can't do or I'm not prepared to do. So
you don't see dudes dropping women off in their cars and keeping them for the day.
She wasn't going. So here's my question. Here's my thought on that too, my brother. So what's LaRussia put a nice little comment about gender biases, about how people are looking for relationships to be the man to lead, to have all the money and to take care of everybody. But in this day and age, there's a lot of women who are making more money than the men are.
Yeah.
And not every woman is looking for someone to take care of them.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
And our fault sometimes is also that since we have this we live in a patriarchal society, we sometimes feel like we have to have this overbearing, overpowering complex with someone who makes more money than us at times. I've seen a lot of dudes do it. I've seen a lot of dudes come to that, feel like they have to be almost, abusive in some aspects because, the woman is more financially sound or more financially well off than the man is.
That's not something that every dude can handle, though, and vice versa.
Man,
you have to be in a position to understand that, but that goes back to being an alpha male and conforming or fitting in to a greater system.
Yeah.
And that's just really all it comes down to, because the money at the end of the day is fine and all. Okay, so you make a little bit more than me now, that's fine. But at the end of the day, how do we balance and mesh, and what are we doing for progression? That's more of my concern. If I met a girl and she happened to make a little bit less than me, but she's got a plan, like we trying to build up you, okay, well, I'm gonna go back to school so I can get, a little bit more than, more. Okay, cool. I understand for right now, but you have a plan that's progressive. So that's fine. But if you making less than me and we start talking about my ambitions and we just on a whole different page, then this just ain't gonna go long term. But I'm different. I address concerns of long term from the jump. I need to know where your head is before I even get into this, because they're gonna do the same thing to us. So I might as well do the same thing.
That's a good point, because I think a lot of this would be, hey, this is what we get exposed to. Hey, you see, I didn't get it right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So a lot of this goes back to being transparent from jump. Clear, concise, precise communication would take care of a lot of these issues if we just started off like that from jump. If we talked about what I got, what you got, if we were able to be vulnerable enough to talk about our shortcomings, our fears, some of our areas where we're lacking, and some of our idiosyncrasies type things that we could just get out on the table, then we could have a better starting point. Yeah. And when we come up to these possible issues that could cause us make us feel inferior, that make us have some type of emotions or make us feel some type of way, then maybe we could process past that a little more smoother if we would have just been open and honest from the beginning.
Yeah, but you got to know
man, woman, both, all together.
Knowing the person foundation of that first.
Yes, sir.
I need to know, if I know what you come from, then I'm able to make a more educated analysis of where your priorities will lie.
Yeah.
If I know that from the jump. So I look for certain things. Now, I give everybody an opportunity, but I do look for certain components that will minimize, at least to me, the likelihood of these blowouts later on, because I'm like, oh, so your head in a whole other space about this. I thought you were this way. And then now, you somewhere completely different. But I ask questions. I put my information out there from the jump. I tell these girls I'm broke. Look, I'm broke. That's it.
So it kills me though. Sometimes people see the red flags or they see the stop signs and they blow right past them.
Yeah. I tell everybody, I tell them all the time, Nate, I'm broke. I'm broke. So just in case you coming for cash, I'm broke.
Everybody knows I ain't got it. If you don't know that I ain't got it, guess what? I ain't got it.
I'm broke. I'm broke as far as you need to know. Now, when your birthday come around and then all your homegirls like, wow, he did that, I'm broke. No, I'm broke. Just keep that in mind. I'm just broke. Nope.
So,
but So no, I think transparency is like the biggest initial thing, and being transparent from the jump. But you got to know what you want. If you don't know what you want, then that's more self-reflective, and you got to find yourself and know what you want, because all you're gonna do is just keep trying stuff over and over and over, and you're gonna get there. But your homegirl, I'd love to have a back and forth exchange with her, because she has some energy. I heard she said she was drinking some Remy. I've been on some oil too, so we could have
all right. Well, thank
good...
you for stopping by, Jeremy. Thanks for coming on the Day of the Lord. If you don't know, if you're not Jeremy's friend, Jeremy Perkins on Facebook and Veron Andre on Facebook, you all be friends.
Yeah,
all right, Jeremy.
I'm gonna talk to her offline.
All right, I'm gonna holler later on, man. Thanks for coming by, man. My man, Jeremy has some great points. I do, LaRush, LaRush, you know what? I don't agree with you that women are naturally submissive. I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't agree that every woman is naturally submissive. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about how a lot of black guys, African American men, say, "Oh well, no, not a lot." I take that back. There was a post about young Jeezy, how he's dating or is with the young Asian lady from The View. Is it called The View? It's not The View. One of them daytime talk shows. And there was a meme or a post talking about how black men have such a hard time dating black women because and they prefer women from other races because they're so much they're a lot less harder to get along with, and they're a lot less independent, and there's a lot less issues with dealing with women from other races because they're not as strong-headed, so they're not as independent, and they're a lot more submissive than black women are. Now, my perspective on this is that you're right. You cannot be submissive to every man. But when you have a good man, and you can't recognize the good qualities that he has, and you still refuse to be, see, the word submissive, I don't know if I know it's a biblical term. We toss it around. Women are supposed to submit themselves to the husband, and husbands submit themselves to Christ, and as Christ submits himself to the church, all that type of stuff. I understand we get that beat in, and we're supposed to, do all that and all that. That's cool. But when the rubber meets the road, I'm a witness myself from seeing in other relationships that the submissive part isn't always there. Now maybe I'm not around 24/7 with those people, but I feel like a lot of women who are African American, some African American women have been conditioned to be independent, and a lot of that has been pushed because society is so hard and so rough on African American women as a whole. One of the hardest hit demographics in the world ever has never been hurt so much, has been hurt as more than African American women, has never been kept down as much as African American women, and has never been beat down as much as African American women. That's facts. One of the hardest hit demographics for everything: HIV, compensation in the workplace, domestic violence, sexual assault. African American women suffer from it more than any other demographic. So with that being said, from birth, African American women are raised to be strong, independent, self-reliant. A lot of them are. Now, and I'm not saying that every African American woman every black woman is raised to be like that. But if we're talking about from different lower economic areas, if you're raised in a lower economic area and you're a black woman, then you're taught to either survive, be independent, or be dependent, or rely on the system. So I've seen it with my own eyes. I know for a fact that that plays a part in a lot of black women's lives. Now, I say that to say this. When it comes to relationships, sometimes it's hard to get with someone who's so bent on being independent, so bent on being strong, the head, and having to provide for them, and maybe the children if they're a tag team, if they're a tandem. So I understand, that the world is hard on our black sisters and on black women as a whole. But I do also realize that sometimes when you're taught to be strong, it doesn't always help when you're needing to coexist. You've been taught to be independent. You've been taught to provide for yourself, but the part of coexisting and compromising isn't always there because you got to survive. I understand that part. Survival is at the basis of a lot of our lives. We're human. We're animals. Animals are taught to survive. What are you going to do to survive? What you've been taught. Your parents or your parent or your guardian has taught you how to make it in this world. Your life experiences have taught you how to make it in this world. And I think, I know for a fact that plays a big part in a lot of women's lives. So there's also a struggle in a lot of people to understand if you've been independent for so long, you've got to figure out how to not be so independent and allow someone in. Because you could be so rough around the edges, but you have a desire to be with someone where you actually push them away because you're not used to these feelings. And when you get this, this feeling, everything, you kind of reject it. I've seen it firsthand experience. So I know there are barriers to overcome when you've been single for so long, or when you've been raised to be strong. We should all be strong, yeah, but we should also be able to compromise and coexist if we're looking for love. That's my point. If you're looking for something to share, if you're looking to share your life with someone else, you should also be able to coexist, compromise. I'll keep saying coexist and compromise. Coexist and compromise. Don't hear anything else. Those two words, coexist and compromise. Who wants to talk? Who's next up? LaRusha, you getting on here? Ooh, can we, LaRusha, can you please? LaRusha, jump on. You just said what we need to talk about. LaRusha! LaRusha Townsend, stop ignoring it. Come on. I'm going to send it one more time. Oh, she's gone. That's so petty. But yeah, so LaRusha, we talked about this on one of my statuses. I posted a status talking about, how did you learn to love? Where did you learn to love at? And a lot of people, I invited you onto the chat. You gonna talk with me? LaRusha, you gonna talk? I don't know. It won't let me add you. Anyway, so yeah, I posted a status about asking you all how you learned to love, who taught you how to love, that type of thing. And like I said, a lot of our love, the way we were taught love, is survival. They taught us how, our guardians, our parents taught us how to survive because that's how they loved us. They wanted to make sure that we were successful in thriving and surviving, make sure we were able to get our needs met. But the other part of, like I said, coexisting and compromise, that wasn't always instilled in us. And that's something that we've had to kind of had to bump our heads and figure out on our own. So I know a lot of us have had that. So my other question is this: in this political climate, in this climate where we see black men and women getting killed on a day-to-day basis in America, I feel like our plight and our struggle has been made mainstream in such a way that now I feel like we are getting more compassionate, I'll say. Come on, Evan, you good. Do your thing, do your thing. Come on, LaRusha, give them some love. Come on. So what's your take on, remember we talked about survival and love and loving survival, how our parents taught us how to survive and not adequately love, but that's what their love looked like. Could you expound on that?
That looks like, that's different from everybody though. I think number one, not too many people learn each other's love language. That's big. So, or we tend to put our love language on someone else. What's my love language is not your love language. So that's where the communication come in at. And of course, I've learned that over time.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to learn that over time because it's important to. That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's part of compromise. You know what I'm saying? Knowing how to know that you can't always be right all the time, and it's really good. Thank you. We did some great kicking yesterday. You gotta kind of know how to compromise, and like you said, you can't always put something on somebody else. Can I see a charger? You about to leave? Okay. Oh, you did. Okay. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate you. My phone's going down. I'm sorry. So I think it's a big part of compromise as well, because not everybody's willing to compromise, and I think that's a relationship killer. I'll say when you don't want to compromise and you always want to be right. And like you said, if you're not willing to learn how someone else loves or someone else's love language, then you're almost destined to fail.
Yeah. But it's almost like, let's piggyback on Jeremy.
Uh-oh.
You have to heal first. If you don't heal, you don't really know what that looks like. A lot of toxic. And you'll keep on getting those same lessons until, they always say you get out what you put out. I don't believe that sometimes. Sometimes you get what you need, but you don't know.
Yeah.
So you sabotage. We can sabotage when you don't know what that looks like. Like Jeremy said, I was raised, I've never had a man live in the house with my mom. And now I'm continuing that cycle with my son. I've been a single mom to my son. He'll be 16 this year. So,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Good kid.
Doing
good
your
thing,
kid. Yes, he is.
But it's that generational stuff. You have to break that. And a lot of us don't want to do that. At some point you have to do your own research, you do your own thing. That's how you grow. I tell my son,
it's so easy though.
Easier said than done, but
it's so easy.
No,
it's easy to flip back. It's because that's comfortable. That generational stuff, that's what we learned. That's how we were raised. So it's so easy to just flip
what
back
is it doing for you? So I'll be 38 this year. So if you keep on repeating that, you're gonna keep getting that. So what you gonna do? Hey,
hold on.
I love it because where I was in my 20s, I'm not there at 38, which is a good thing, So I can teach that. And if you have to be, we don't know everything.
You have to be teachable
at all times. If you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get out. That's just how I feel, and that's what with relationships, that communication is big, and we don't do that. But I also know what I found with black men. A lot of them so they don't even know how to love. And then we have a lot of us that didn't have our dads. We don't know how to love. So we're learning together what that look like.
Yeah. Mama's boys and daddy's girls is what you're talking about?
Yep. But
I don't know. That's it's the, you know, because that's another part that you gotta work out with you and your significant other. I wholeheartedly believe my lighting is bad. I need to get some good lighting because my Mel. Call me Melanator. Nate Melon. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's the part that everyone has to work out in their own situation because a lot of people are, like, it's subjective for everybody. So if you come from a family that, you know, if you're a single, you had a mom and you're a boy, you gravitate towards your mom. You want to take care of your mom. You know what I'm saying? A lot of boys are defensive over their mothers. And they grow up like that. And like you said, when you've been a defensive mama's boy, been taking care of your mama, you can't treat your woman like your mama.
No, you can't. And vice versa. And but
No, can't treat her like your woman.
But sometimes people don't treat their mama well either. They might treat their significant other better than they do their mom. You just don't know. You know, parenting didn't come with a handbook, so when that gets broken, you have broken kids who became broken adults. So you have to heal.
More, it's a cycle.
Yep.
It's a cycle. That's something you brought up too. It's up to us to stop it.
But how do you?
Have to stop.
That's the question. How do you?
You have to stop. By with yourself, taking action, and refusing to be comfortable and going back to that action that you're trying to stop.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not easy. It's not easy. It's like with me losing weight. I've been trying to lose all this weight for years, and like it took me to really understand that I can't stay on 3 blood pressure medications for the rest of my life, to where I had to like really get serious and drop 70 pounds. Am I done? No.
Right.
Am I still going? Yes. Is it hard? Yeah, it's still hard. But it's a daily, second, minute, hourly struggle that I refuse to lose. Am I gonna get it right every day? No.
No.
But you don't have to repeat the same mistake day after day after day. That's the cycle. You can break the cycle if you want to.
Yeah, you have to want to. You have to want to.
Yeah, it's a desire. So yeah. But I appreciate you coming by.
You're welcome.
Thank you for accepting my request. I hope you have you be 38 this year?
Yep, in October I'll be 38.
That black just don't crack.
Yeah.
What do you say? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna holler at you, okay? Oh. This has been an enlightening time here on Facebook Live. We are 52 minutes past the hour. I wanted to talk a little bit about the current climate that we got going on. Thank you. I'm trying to bring sexy back. This plan. I'm really trying to be healthy. I started off with 3 blood pressure medications. Now I am down to just 1, and I'm trying to get off that. I'm trying to live for my kid. Trying to be around to be a good daddy from a little boy Wyatt. So yeah, still trying to make it, man. I got a lot of ways to go. But I want to shift and just talk a little bit about the racial crime that we got, because a lot of people. I was talking about Young Jeezy's conversation about how he's with the anchor on the Real. He's on the Real. He's in a relationship with an anchor on the Real, rather. And he's that comment about how, black women are less submissive and it's more, fruitful to get into a relationship with someone in another race. On the back end of that as well, though, there's been a lot of racial stuff going on, and I don't know right now how a lot of people think about interracial relationships. How I wonder if the tension inside of those are a little more heightened nowadays, or is it more compassionate? Or are people starting to be more understanding, you know, from an interracial relationship perspective? So like I wonder about that. I've had, you know, interracial relationships in the past, and some of them didn't end too well because a lot of people want to use racial slurs. You know, growing up in Jeffersonville, Indiana, I had a lot of run-ins with stuff like that. So I don't know. I hope that we all can come to a place where we can thrive together in certain situations like that, and we can be in relationships, and that racial tension wouldn't be there. We're trying to move forward, trying to progress. So I'm hoping that we can get to that place to where, you know, those type of relationships are just another relationship. So I will say this though, we should never be putting down anybody. So I don't think it's ever okay to just say in general one group of women or one group of men from a certain demographic are worse or aren't as good as another. Um, Not all people are bad, and some make others look bad sometimes. But we have to have some understanding and knowledge that not everybody is going to act the same. So this is part one. I am done. I'm done. Thank you for tuning in. Have a lovely. My support staff is behind me. Thank you, support staff. You're welcome. We'll support you through anything. Thank you. I want to tell you, I have a wide net of friends, and tomorrow we're gonna go to Instagram Live for tomorrow's part 2 of dating and relationships. Tasha Mack, I'll have you on tomorrow. All right, tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow, Instagram Live for part 2. So I'll have Tasha Mack on talking about what she feels people need to do in a relationship for her and other guests as well. So tune in tomorrow, 8 o'clock, Monday. Talk to y'all later.